everybody. We are officially live. Now, as many of you know, because of some of the things that Danny has said, Google has not been too happy with us. So they have in fact said what we need to increase our diversity quotient. So here he is, Mr. Know-It-All.
What's up, my know-it-alls?
That's so terrible. That's so terrible. I'm actually really excited you're here, brother. For everybody watching, I actually found you on Criticalist, yes. And this is not part of the ad.
No. Totally.
but that is literally. And I was trying to find it. I don't even remember what the review was I found you on. Do you remember by chance? Or
no, I'm sure, brother. I swear, man. I gotta bring it up now.
Yeah. So, but he did a review on Criticalist, and I was like,
check your spam folder. If he sent it, it's probably there.
Yeah, right. And I reached out to him. Well, I immediately followed you on Twitter. I watched some of your videos, and then I immediately reached out to him. I thought you'd be a great addition to the show, and then I hit up Mike right away, and I was like, "You got to check out this dude's channel. I think it'd be great." You know, blah, blah. So yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, he really was kind of in love with you. I'm not gonna lie. He kept.
Well, dude, your production value, like the work you do, is amazing. It makes us look like the amateurs we are. But yeah, I
guys,
really love
your heart. I've watched some of your stuff. You guys, I love what you guys do. So please, by all means, it is my honor to be here.
Well, no, and I watched a few of your videos as well, particularly all your stuff having to do with the Acolyte, and your last few Discovery reviews as well. And part of the reason that I told Danny I was cool with it was because. Unlike, and just spoiler warning, unlike a lot of people out there, while you are not in love with this show by any stretch, your criticisms are actual criticisms instead of just let's throw some hate at Kathleen Kennedy and what I can never remember the name of the showrunner, Leslie something.
Leslie Headland.
Yeah, and people just trying to throw shade at them. Sure. When to me, it's as a fan of the franchise, it's about what we see on screen. And so people in Hollywood acting a fool, that just means they're in Hollywood.
Agreed, 100%.
Oh, look at this Stanley trying to make jokes.
It is Juneteenth.
No, I'm talking about what's on the screen now. Did we get hit with the DEI?
Yes, we did, and that's why he's here. Yeah. And in fact, they said if you don't have someone of color on for Juneteenth, you guys are going to get banned. So
that was a total coincidence. I didn't even know it was Juneteenth.
It's a total coincidence that you're here on Juneteenth, and we have a brown thumbnail. It's absolute coincidence.
Wow.
I love it.
Alex. Okay. Let me check my notifications. If you did follow me, I'll follow you back so you can DM me. I'm guessing this is about joining us for tomorrow's show, right? So let me know in the chat.
Oh, and Alex, by the way, we did watch Let He Who's Without Sin yesterday, and I hate you.
Yeah, me too, man. I managed to completely forget about that episode, so it was like watching it for the first time and kind of roasted it.
Have you seen that epised of DS9?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I know you're a Trek fan, so
no, totally. Yeah. It's been a minute though since we're trying to get through another watch through because my wife's never seen them all, so she's humored me and she actually really likes Deep Space Nine. So I told her.
Nice.
Well, I think Deep Space Nine, for me at least, it's the best of the Berman era Trek.
It really is. It really is. I love TNG, but DS9 did new things that you never saw before.
Yeah, for me, I will always be a TOS guy, but then I'm older than you guys, so
No. My dad was, and I'm not trying to please date you, but my dad was a TOS fan. He had me sitting at the VHS watching the Columbia House collection.
Yeah.
So we loved those growing up. That's absolutely how I grew up.
Yeah. So I was born during season 2, so that's Spock's Brain was the first episode I actually watched on its original run date.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
So Alex, I couldn't find you, so tell me your Twitter handle, buddy, and I'll follow.
Yeah, maybe you followed the wrong Dork Knight LV.
I don't know.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, there really are. They're everywhere. They're like cockroaches. You can't get rid of them.
Oh my God.
Speaking of cockroaches, you said you had something you wanted to say.
Oh no, I chickened out. I don't think I want to do it now.
Oh wow! What the Juneteenth thing get to be a bit much for you?
I'm not going to
and
compound
the brown
all that.
thumbnail. And
Yeah. Thanks for all of that, by the way.
you did it. Don't blame me.
It was
I had
Oh gosh, you're killing me. You're gonna make me. I actually literally did say this prayer already once today, but if I have to bust out the third step prayer, I'll do it.
There you go. That's awesome.
It's killing me.
Oh man, I do think it's hilarious that so for those of you that don't know, and in fairness to Danny, when he makes the thumbnails, he usually picks the border color based on the color palette of the screen grab that we use for the thumbnail image. And in this case, it was a mostly saturated brown with trees and the gopher thing and all that. And so then yeah, and so then when that happened, the he they, I think, is that what it is? He they is his pronouns.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Because you notice, like, despite all the kerfuffle about OSHA saying they, later, what's the guy's name? Yord calls him a he. I caught that when I was watching it, as Yord said he when referring to the tracker.
Yeah, because you said I guess he's a he.
Yeah.
When we were watching it together.
Yeah. So if anything, and I know I've seen so many thumbnails where they show that thing with like a caption bubble said, "I'm a they" kind of thing, and it's like, well, actually, it never said that.
Correct.
It was just OSHA trying to be PC.
Yeah, and Alex, it's Dork Knight LV, not Dork Knight Vegas, and you'd be surprised there are like 50 Alex Bodie Alexes on Twitter, so you're gonna have to help me out.
By the way, maybe you should change your name since you did steal Dork Knight from your hero.
What? No, I'm not doing that.
He goes, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm not changing my name. I've
See,
had, my phone number is literally 900 Dork. The name of my company is
Salty
Dork Knight
Tracker.
Designs.
Well, then just come up with something else that has Dork in it.
I'm the Dork Knight, buddy.
No, you are definitely not.
Alex, the right Twitter handle for me is right above my head.
Literally above your head.
Yeah, it's right there.
But yeah, see, like my name, Salty Trekker, all original. Mr. Know-It-All. Okay, that's
First of all,
common name for people, but hey, that's his handle. He's
Salty
not-
Nerd has publicly said you stole your name from him. Like he's said.
No. You see, with the first time I was on his podcast, I said that my lawyers are not going to file a cease and desist against him.
Oh, okay.
And they thanked me for it. So no, he can't. And it's on the YouTubes, so he's not getting away with that.
Okay.
Although yes,
And-
technically he did have the name first.
And creep, I'm not. Thank you. I mean, just because I
Dork
have a
Monk, that would be better.
Yeah, just because.
You look like a dork monk.
Look, I might
Especially
have
at the
107. I might have 107 days of sobriety, but I'm no monk yet. So.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, but well, then call yourself.
Oh, now okay. So this is totally about the beard.
Friar Dork.
Oh God.
That's even better. And that shave the top of your head.
Oh, here's another funny one. Dork. I guess this is turning into a rename.
Dork
suggestion
Light,
show.
yeah.
Good grief. Come on, really, dork
face. Dork face. Nah, I mean, his face is definitely punchable, but I don't know if I call him dork face.
Wow. Well, before
So, Mr. Know-It-All, tell everybody.
Oh God.
Pea bucket dork.
You know what? Let's get off this. Yes.
Oh
please.
yeah. There's actually a good reason for that one. I didn't even think about it. So that's a good name for you.
Shut up. Okay,
right,
Mr. Know-It-All, please tell us a little bit about yourself. And
Well, hold on. So,
because
because he needs to know what's going on here.
Oh.
I guarantee you, before the show is over, Danny's going to say, "I have to pee," and turn off his camera and leave for a minute.
First of
And
all,
everybody's
I
been
try
trying to
to
get
do
a
it-
freaking bucket
I
because
try to do it. I try to do it during the break so it doesn't disrupt the show. I really do.
So yes, Mr. Know-It-All, tell everybody about your channel.
And so I like to review film, television, things like that. I tried briefly to do some newsy stuff, but the truth is, I'm a geek like y'all. I love to just hang out and talk about nerdy stuff. And after I used
Right.
to watch things, I would get together with my friends and we would just talk about it. When I was part of the Star Trek fan club, we'd get together at like a Panera Bread type place, and we would just talk for hours, and we'd nerd out and geek out, and that's what it's about. I just like to, and at the end of the day, while I'm doing it, I like to be informative, and I know a whole bunch of nonsense. So my wife likes to say I'd be great at Trivial Pursuit of the nonsensical kind. And
If they had a Star Trek Star Wars version of Trivial Pursuit, I would crush. Which I do actually have the Star Wars Trivial Pursuit,
that's awesome.
and there's not a single question I can't answer.
I have the original Star Trek, the original series, Seen It game.
I actually have
over
that
there.
too. Thomas
yeah.
Potts sent me a copy of that game.
Yeah.
Cool.
We ought to do that sometime then, since we both have it. Yeah,
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
that'd be fun.
So I've never played it because I don't even know how Seen It works. I know you put a DVD in and you like
Yeah,
shows-
Old
put
school,
it,
yeah.
yeah. Which I have to use my PlayStation to watch it.
Right.
'Cause, but yeah.
So now, as far as franchise fandoms, where do you rank your top stuff?
Star Trek is number one for me. Doctor Who comes in a pretty close second, and then after that, it's all the kind of Marvel MCU type stuff. I'm an old school comic book guy as well, but I've really gotten most of the last. To be fair, over the last decade, I've gotten most of my comic information from Comics Explained or the late Comic Story and May He Rest. And so now these days, though, my wife got me into Star Wars, and I because like everything, I dive in. So I've immersed myself in books, and I do come from old school role playing games, so I really dug this one.
Yeah,
out.
I saw you dig out the role playing books for your review today.
I was like, wait a minute, let me see this. I've seen Acolyte before, and oh yeah, so
Stan Lee wants to know old Doctor Who or new. I know you like the new stuff, right?
love the new stuff. I got into it, the new stuff, but if I had to go older, I grew up right after cartoons. It would go pro wrestling, and then there'd be this swap hour of like either kung fu movies, Godzilla movies, or old fourth Tom Baker Doctor Who episodes.
Right.
And so so he was the first quote unquote character person I knew as Doctor Who before any of the others that I ever learned. And then of course years later I got into the modern stuff. So
See, I'm more of a third Doctor guy, but
Right on.
I can
well, that's
remember.
where the fun like unit stuff started, like really started.
Yeah, Unit was a big part of the third Doctor's arc.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Don't know anything about what you guys are talking about, but we have another you still watch wrestling?
I stopped after the Attitude Era.
When you realized
I
it was fake. It
I,
was,
well, no. So here, okay, real quick. My response to the fake thing has always been this. Yes, the storylines and things are fake. However, when a grown 200-pound man drops 30 feet, even if it's a table that's been sawed, that's got athletic prowess in it somehow. And he can learn to take a fall. He's as good as any stunt guy out there.
Oh, you're talking about
sure.
the mankind off the top of the
all
Hell in a
that
Cell?
yeah, man. It's like, come on now. But yeah,
I'm
no,
not saying that these guys aren't talented stuntmen.
Sure.
But they're people.
Oh, yeah, but it's not like legit real.
Yeah. You know, I think that these guys should just get into action movies and, bring back the Muscle Man action movies.
Right on.
Like the 80s. Man, I miss the 80s. I know you guys barely remember it, if at all.
No, the 80s. What are you talking? I was born in the 70s, man. The 80s. is
Yeah, but
my-
you
my
were like
stomping
3
grounds.
years old in the 80s, so,
Well, I mean, okay, fair enough.
See, I remember seeing Star Wars in theaters in 1977.
That's fair.
Yeah, and so I was now I am a Star Trek fan, a true Trekkie to the core.
Obviously, the salty trekker. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey, Andy, welcome. It's been a little bit.
but I have been a fan of Star Wars since the beginning of Star Wars.
on.
That being said, I never got and this is probably because and by the way, hey Andy, because it has been forever, man. I hope you're doing well. But I never got into the books because I'm dyslexic, and so reading sucked. And until relatively recently, with things like Audible, it wasn't really easy to get books on audiobooks.
fair.
So
Yeah.
like if you had to buy them on CD or cassette tape, they were ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And to get the unabridged version of a book was nearly impossible.
For real. No,
You know,
legit.
so That being said, I love me the Star Wars movies. The only Star Wars movie that I genuinely don't like is The Last Jedi. I like The Force Awakens. I even like The Rise of Skywalker. I think it's a mess, but it's an enjoyable mess.
I've always felt like the Last Jedi feels like by itself would have been a good movie.
Yeah,
and
just
the other
not as
two-
part of the franchise.
Like, what are those three? But what are? I feel like there was a movie in the middle before where Force Awakens and the other one, like, they
Right.
both referenced something that we never saw. And I was like, what is this? So, yeah.
And then
check out this message from Blaine here.
Criticless is in the house.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Is that Blaine's channel? Yeah, that's Blaine, isn't
That's
it?
Blaine. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Blaine. Yeah. Yeah.
And just so you know, Blaine, we've been playing your commercials like every stream. So,
I'm even chilling right here, brother.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Hey, Ariel's in the house. Hey, Ariel. Don't now in a few minutes here. Don't get jealous, Ariel. You're still my girl. Just, and the donation link is in the description. I'm just kidding. So by the way, yeah. I don't know if Salty Trekkers are in it yet, but anybody watching who wants more information on Mr. Know-It-All right here, all of his links, and I mean all the links I could find on this guy, including his Criticless profile, are in the description of my channel for this stream.
Or
So
you can
get
just
them all
search
there.
for Mr. Know-It-All here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Actually, my handle, because someone else had Mr. Know-It-All, who's not even using it, is A Real Know-It-All. It's at A Real Know-It-All. But
Okay.
yes.
Right, but if you
No,
search Mr. Know-It-All, it's
does
still going
come
to
up. I do come
it's
up,
going to
yeah.
find you because you have more content.
That's true.
It's just like my YouTube handle is actually Anti-Trekker because that was my name before I became Salty Trekker.
Got it.
That's a story in and of itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ariel is. So how much?
No, you don't have to pay me anything. Hang on. No, I'm kidding. Wait a minute. No, okay.
No. We only take bribes here.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Danny's done it.
Believe it or not,
Was
Mr.
that back when I
Know-It-All
was
watching.
drinking? Was that
Oh
back
yeah,
when I was
that was
drinking?
back when you were drinking. But
Okay,
yes.
then that tracks. I can't confirm or deny it, but I was in bad shape when I was drinking. So, hence the finding God and going.
Oh
to
yeah,
AA
thank you,
and
Stan.
sober.
Blaine, if you're listening right now, dang it, you need to make the
yes.
mittens an actual piece of swag. I want to buy some Critic mittens so bad after watching that stupid commercial over and over, but I can't buy any Critic mittens. You got to figure out a way to make it happen, buddy.
Kind of like Mr. Know-It-All ran into this issue. We couldn't get. Oh, did it?
You muted yourself.
I think you muted your by accident.
Some kid has it and hasn't used it ever. It just took the name, so we that's why we don't have nerd fights.
Yeah.
Either. So yeah, it
Right.
happens.
All right, so the way that we usually do things, I know you've seen a couple of our episodes, but we start out and we just say, give your 30-second take on the episode, how it's flowing, that kind of thing, and then we'll go in the scene-by-scene thing. So since you are our guest, you go ahead first, Mr. Know-It-All. What's your 30-second review of... I don't know what's the name of this episode. I never.
Day.
Your hot day. What's your hot
Day,
take on
that's
day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have a hot take if the episode had been a little bit longer, but unfortunately, it was about as long as this review is going to take. So it's a lot of things happen, but nothing happens, and I guess that's right until the end, and then it's over.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, that's fair. How about you,
Short,
Ben?
sweet, to the point.
So to in a response to what he said, and you don't have to get on camera, but what did you literally just say to me when that episode ended?
Well, I think it's the mom.
No, the other thing
I love her though. That's awesome.
about you wanted to see it.
Oh, now I want to know what happened, because who is that?
That's what a TV show does, and I like her theory. She just finished watching all 4, and she thinks Mother Coral is the big baddie under the
I
hood.
can see that. I could see
That's what
that.
she thinks. Yeah.
Definitely has.
I
a
don't
s-
think that, but I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mother Coral, Stan, Mother Coral, the one with the horns. So my hot take is, man, this was short, but good Lord, I can't wait to see next week's episode. But here's where they're going to gut punch us. it'll be a flashback episode, and we won't see what's
I
going to
hope
happen for
not.
2
Yeah.
weeks. You know.
I hope not.
All right, so I'm going to agree. Well, I agree with what Danny said there. As far as if I were a betting man, I would say next week's going to be another flashback. That's just the way they like doing these shows, which is really annoying. This episode could have been an absolute masterclass with just a little bit of work. All you got to do is intercut what we got in this episode with last week's episode.
So you joke. I'm actually thinking about just little by little starting a super
Doing like a supercut of it.
because I'm agreeing with you. I agree.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Intercut it, and it actually would work probably really well.
Right, because if we see
Yeah.
May and Osha building up their hate for each other, intercut with May's big turnaround, although that needs to be rewritten, because I know you said this too. It was just like, oh, wow, so she's just good now?
Yeah.
You know,
Something like
but
that. Okay.
but we if that was earned a little bit more, and we saw basically on one hand, as kids we see them growing apart, as adults we see them growing together in the same episode. That could have been awesome.
Yeah. Agreed.
But unfortunately, what we got was half an episode, and it just it ended at just what they said. Oh, here's a dramatic part, so we'll end it here to call it a cliffhanger. But overall I liked a lot of what we saw. We just didn't get enough,
yeah.
you
Agreed.
know. And I am actually on team Darth Methhead. I think that's who the
I am
totally
actually.
does.
We talked about that while we watched it together.
Yeah.
and I agree. I think the what is Critical Drinker calls him the poor man Ezra Miller. I think poor man
Yeah,
Ezra Miller
yeah.
could be the big bad. But,
Yeah,
but
I
her
think-
idea is not bad either. About,
Well, it
about
could
being a mom.
if not him, I would go with Coral, because whoever it is has a very slight build.
Yes.
And both Coral and Darth Methhead have very slight builds, so it
Yeah.
it would
And
work
that
for either.
helmet is big enough that probably her spikes could.
Yeah, her
fit in.
spikes would fit in the helmet, as would his hair. So it's
That's true. Yeah.
either way, I think it works. And so but yeah, this episode, they're just, I mean, a lot of stuff, not much substance. And by the way, Penny is Danny's mom.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel honored.
Is
She,
this
no,
true?
don't, because now she's going to stalk you too.
Oh, is this true? Is this news true, or is this creep trying to will it into existence?
I think he might be trying to will into existence.
I
Yeah,
think
we gotta
that's
check.
you know how it is. Look, I've seen on the channels that shall not be named all the stuff about how it's a ratings disaster and Lucas in shambles and blah blah, you know, and it's like, you know, George Lucas is coming back, and I am so tired of this crap, because these are the same people that wanted to string George Lucas from a tree when the prequels came out. And now they're acting like he should be the savior of Star Wars. It hurts my brain.
I'm not seeing anything online to corroborate that, but we'll see.
Yeah. So we start out with your obligatory previously on.
On the Acolyte.
Yeah. And we come back to this shot from the second episode. Yeah.
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 And by the way, if they don't do a flashback where we get to see this guy in action, I'm going to be very disappointed. Because I was so excited. Like when he used the Force to grab that blaster and then ripped it in half, I was like, okay, I want to see a Wookiee Jedi. I didn't think I ever wanted to see a Wookiee Jedi, but now I want to see a Wookiee Jedi. And what do we get? We got his rotting corpse.
Yeah,
Bro,
but he
no.
I saw a clip on YouTube where apparently he and that other dead, the Tomlin guy from Game of Thrones, apparently they were in a fight in a clip somewhere out there. So.
Okay, so and that's what I think that we're going to get a lot. I think at least half of the content we're going to get from now to the end is going to be flashbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be.
and which is really kind of annoying.
A little bit.
And by the way, tell me if you blur this picture a little bit, that's not Bigfoot.
I hate you so much because now it's all I'm gonna be able to see.
Yeah. All right. So I did notice this on his wall when he comes in. The witch markings.
It's kind of
there.
well, if you look at it, it looks a lot like a yin yang.
It does, but you also have the dots are like that. That's on May's forehead, or those dots.
Maybe May or somebody did something to him, and he's traumatized, and he's just drawn him like a crazy person.
Well, and I think the yin yang thing may be, it's on the nose like so much stuff in the show, but the fact that we have the twins. That they seem to always have polar opposite attitudes on things. And, I know a lot of people speculated that they're a Force dyad, much like Rey and Kylo were.
Speaking of that, and this question from Ariel, have you seen Kadish's theory about what this show is actually setting up?
No, what's that?
No, what's Kadish's theory?
Okay, he thinks it's setting up the new Rey Skywalker movie. He thinks that Rey is going to be pregnant because when she was brought back to life by Kylo Ren, he put his hand over her stomach and it glowed, and then he dies, and then he
force impregnated her.
He force impregnated her, and then she's going to have another immaculate conception, baby.
I thought he just force healed her.
So he could look. This is Kadish's theory, and he thinks
I
this
think
show.
Kadish is wrong.
I have to agree with you. I think he might. I think he's hoping to try to connect dots, as a lot of people do. I feel like there's enough out here. We don't need to connect so many dots. But anyway.
And some of these dots just need to be forgotten.
Yeah, agreed.
Like for example, Book of Boba Fett. We do not need a season 2 of Boba Fett, people. We have a cool Mandalorian with the Mandalorian. So
True story.
So then we see what do you remember what the Wookiee's name is?
Kelnaka.
Kelnaka. So we see him preparing some food.
Ooh, Thomas Potts shooting shots.
We assume more wrong than the triple timeline. First of all, Thomas, I bet you, because Mr. Know-It-All knows nothing about the triple timeline theory. I'll bet you if I told him the triple timeline theory right now, he would agree with me 100%. So, because he's a smart guy and he's a Star Trek fan.
Right on, man.
Well, if we have time, we can circle back to that at the end. But let's.
Nobody's going to
Red
remember.
Kama Sutra.
We got great fans here. Hey, speaking of,
hold on a second. Do you realize what's going on here?
What's
We're
that?
not just one. We're not just two. We are many.
We are many. Oh,
No, you did it wrong. We are many.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. So,
You had to go there, man. That just broke me.
It was the Fred Kama Sutra that made me think of it too. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, that's all good.
Yeah, by the
That's
way,
awesome.
okay, so since you mentioned that, I got to say this. All the people that railed about that stupid "We Are Many" singing thing, which I know a lot of people gave that some shade, right?
Totally.
Where were they complaining about the Yop Yop song from Return of the Jedi? Where were they complaining about the stupid song of the Gungans at the end of the Phantom Menace?
That jam. That was a banger.
But yeah, I'm just saying, Star Wars and stupid songs go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And so their "We Are Many" song, if that you're looking for stuff to hate.
No, it's corny, but it's not bad. It's not egregious.
Right. It's nothing that, and Stanley, what's even worse is that they removed Yob Yob. How about the song in Jabba's Palace? And I'm not talking about the remix. I'm talking the original. That was, teach it. Yeah. Oh, man, I hate that song.
Hannibal Grimm has a interesting take here.
force boom booming. I think the phraseology that's going on is killing me.
The force boom booming. I like
love
that.
it.
That's,
I love it so much.
yes. Oh man. And you know what would be great is the fetus could like have a digital version of Kylo's face for Skype calling with Rey throughout the movie. So like you just have this fetus floating in the air in front of her talk. Why am I here? Why do I see you? You know?
Hey, Mr. Know-It-All, how was your evening with the guys? Well, you know, words I didn't expect to hear. Fetus.
Yeah. A force fetus.
Force fetus.
The force fetus.
That's hilarious. That's a pun on many levels.
Yeah.
So yes, we need the force boom boom power. That's
No, that's real, bro. Right here, he's right. Remember the good old days when all we had to complain about was Jar Jar?
yeah, but
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, Mr. Creep here.
But you know, the stupid thing is that I think people. It's one thing to have legitimate complaints about these shows, but we're nitpickers. We're gonna find stuff to rail about.
Absolutely.
However, it's another when it's just in the spirit of absolute hatred.
Agreed. No, I agree with that. Absolutely.
And it's like I don't understand how some of these people. And I hate to sound like the producers of the show, because don't get me wrong, the way that they act is just as stupid and immature when they sit there and throw their little trolling remarks at the fans, right? But but I kind of question, how do you call yourself a fan and say nothing but hate? You know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, how could you not say, "Oh, cool, some of the Jedi have yellow lightsabers," you know?
I think it's dope.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, one of the neatest scenes I've seen in a long time, other than the Clone Wars, and I loved it then, was when all the lightsabers go off, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to get ahead of you. I apologize. I
no,
know
we'll get there. Please don't force feed the force fetus.
There it is.
Oh, don't worry. They'll take the force fetus to Oct 2 and latch it onto the space cow.
Oh god.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
If I had some blue milk right now.
So, meanwhile, on Coruscant,
It's Greeble Coruscant.
Greeble Coruscant. It does look like Greeble Coruscant.
It totally looks like it's the people who don't playing at home. Greebles is the little technical things that VFX guys will use to just populate up an image quickly.
Right. Like this could be a close up of the bottom of a Star Destroyer with buildings on it.
Yep.
So we get some Padawans training, led by X-23. And okay, guys, look, I know Star Wars is
Ginger's
just. How do they put a white male Jedi in this show? I am so offended.
I'm more concerned with the fact that apparently gingers can be Jedis.
Yeah, because how can they have any midi-chlorians at all? They have no souls.
That's
you know?
right. That's awesome.
Look at him! Look at all Errol Flynn with the hair and the beard
totally
and everything.
He kind of reminds me of that guy from Game of Thrones from the North, but
He does.
yeah, it's
Oh my
not
gosh,
him, but he
does.
kind of reminds me of him. But yeah,
Jedi Seamus O'Brien. That's awesome. Darth Maul. I love it.
So he leaves, and we get this scene with OSHA and X-23,
Yes.
and I'm really okay. I'm curious what you guys think, because I'm mixed on this scene.
Okay.
On the one hand, I think that it's actually fairly well written as two young women having a conversation, but I think that the blocking and the acting is completely flat.
So
Like they're just literally standing here saying their lines.
I had the impression. I agree with you, by the way. But I immediately was like, I wonder if does Jackie or the actress Daphne Keane, is she supposed to be looking like she's kind of like hanging on looking at her hair too long? And then later on, Daphne Keane came out today as saying, "Oh yeah, when I was filming that scene, I absolutely thought that Jackie has feelings for OSHA." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well maybe that's why." But yeah, no,
man,
otherwise
so-
it's pretty flat.
yesterday, to what you just said and to what Thomas has on the screen, when we were watching this together yesterday, you started making those. You were making those jokes every time these two were on the screen about.
Right,
Oh no, we got a new
but
lesbian lover couple now, and I didn't see it, but now that
Lesbian
more than
lover
one
power couple.
okay.
No, it's a force couple.
I get it. I see what you did there.
Yeah. See? And they're going to make another force fetus because women can do that with the power of many.
The power of many.
So the no, but I hated. Look, I didn't think the scene was bad, and I know that and the reason I was making those jokes when we were watching it, Danny, is because I knew that people were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew that people were going to say, "Oh yeah, they're," now. The actress may have said that, oh yeah, I get the feeling that she has feelings for her, but if she's saying it like that, that means that it's not on screen.
Agreed. No, I
That's just the actor thinking, oh, I want to say something that is Pride Monthy, for the audience that cares about that kind of thing.
I think I said that actually in my review. I was like, can you stop Pride Monthing us and just let Star Wars?
Yeah, you did.
win?
Yeah,
Let's get to Star Warsing.
Yeah, and to me, I didn't see this as a Pride Month scene, but I just figured people would because it's two girls, and it's a Bechdel test passing scene, which immediately means lesbians. That's apparently
terrible.
Yeah. Apparently now, if two women aren't talking about a man, they must be lesbians.
Which is that's not right.
Yeah, and
So
I agree. OSHA is the safest of all the Jedi.
See, I was gonna pull that up, but I wanted to ask you. So there it is. I wanted to ask you though about this one. Is this like effigy or orgy? Like what is he?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be orgy, a forger. You see something forgery, like it's fake, but it's a force orgy. I think is what they're trying to say.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because all the women are just gonna, they're gonna get together under their green lesbian master, and that'll be the final battle, I guess. They'll use the power of many, whatever that means. Then should they be saying Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan should have been lovers? Well, BC.
I'm sure there's slash fiction out there about it.
You know what? How do you know they weren't?
Oh god.
Well, that's like people who used to say that Kirk and Spock had tension, and I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
I would say, if anything, I would say Spock and McCoy had more tension.
Well, please, Captain, not in front of the Klingons.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. By the way, I don't think that. I'm not about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I don't buy into this being a lesbian moment. I just think it was very badly shot and acted. It was well written, strangely enough, but it was. I mean, look at this. This shot is all you see for the entire scene. They stand there with their arms at their sides and just recite their lines.
Yeah.
It's like this was a dress rehearsal.
Well, see, another thing for me was
go
it felt like this scene was just kind of added in to justify Saul wanting her to stay in like they didn't know what to put in between A and B, so they were like, well, listen, if we have Saul ask her to stay, we have to show she was leaving.
Right.
When, if you remember, her and Jackie barely spoke in the previous two episodes.
Right.
So all of a sudden they're like, bye, it's so nice. Okay, let's see you later.
Besties.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys barely talked. What are you talking about? I thought Yord was the guy who came up with her, not Jackie.
Yeah, because she was friends with Yord. Maybe,
Right.
but Yord has a penis, so we can't put him on screen too much. Unless he turns out to be gay.
Don't make assumptions. He might be a. Oh, that reminds me of a joke. You guys know what a drag queen and a mechanic have in common?
They both use strap-on tools.
Oh
Damn
my
it,
God, that's brilliant.
That's
That is
funnier.
brilliant.
That's funnier than I was going to say.
That's funny because it's true.
It's true, yeah. But what I was going to say is because they both go home covered in tranny fluid, which
You're fired.
Yeah. That's why you're here, Mr. Know-It-All, because we're trying to not get fired.
No, totally. No. No,
Here-
so
oh,
By the way, do either of you know who Anthony Jeselnik is?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I saw a clip of him, and it was so on point with the way things are today. He was talking about the fact that, he refers to them as joke cops, people that get really upset if you make fun of certain things.
Sure.
And he says, and the thing about it, it's always, you can't make fun of this now. And whatever this is always changing.
Yes.
And so it might be something else next week, which makes it completely hypocritical.
100%.
And he goes, and so currently, he says, it's transgenderism. And he says, look, you can't even call them chicks with dicks anymore. And then he goes,
I love that guy.
And he said, the only thing you can call them now is men who talk too much.
I love you so much. Oh. There's layers. There are layers to that joke.
Oh, that's good. I love Anthony Jeselnik, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw him in concert, and yes, he will say something that offends you. I don't care how, nihilistic and hard you think you are. He's going to say something in his show that will offend you. That some joke he's going to throw, and you're going to be like, "Oh, that was too far." But he's cool with that because he even says several times through his show, he says, "Look, if you're not offended by something I say, there's something wrong with you," And he goes, "But of course I'm going to offend you because I'm awesome."
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, notice like when I've gone to several screenshots of this conversation and they never move. They're just standing there.
Yeah.
And it's, horribly done. See, never do they move.
Yeah. And we're not even being given like a wide, that's the first wide shot.
This is the first wide shot in the conversation. They're still not moving.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like the director just said, yeah, just talk. So then they land on Not Kashyyyk. We got May
as
and
portrayed by the country of Brazil.
Is that where they filmed this?
Oh, this part, and I'm like, why didn't you stay there?
Because they wanted it to look more alien.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense.
But they. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't just green screen the whole thing, because that's the normal Star Wars MO.
Yeah.
For alien landscapes, either find a monoclimate like a glacier to film on, or a desert to film in,
Right.
or you green screen it and make it look alien. But no, I guess they just want it to look like a regular old rainforest.
Oh, look at this. Jazzy Poo's got a interesting take. Oh, wait a minute. That's you.
It's supposed to be an awkward moment.
See, that's what I said. We need female point of view. We're three dudes.
I kind of agree with that, though. No.
Yeah. See?
That they were like, oh, maybe she, they're trying to imply that maybe there's feelings there, but neither of them are have the guts to move or something.
That could be
Stop
like
adjusting
awkward.
your mustache, Danny.
Why does that bother you so much? I bet he didn't even notice. You didn't notice, did you, Mr. Know-It-All? Did you
Not at
notice?
all.
See,
No.
You're obsessed.
That's because Mr. Know-It-All doesn't have to sit with you 2 nights a week, every week, 3 nights if you count a recording night, and watch you do that the whole freaking time.
I'm just
Real
trying
quick,
to shape it.
Can we
Oh, go
real
ahead,
quick
go
look
ahead.
at Stanley's? Were they worried they didn't have the budget to do a Kashyyyk establishing CGI show with $180 million? Where did it all go?
Yeah, I
They
don't
could've
see
done
where the money's going.
Dude, did you see? Oh my God, we were so ahead of the curve. So we reviewed Godzilla -1 last week,
Which
and
that
we,
movie cost less than one episode of this show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, everybody after, and it had nothing to do with this, it's just one of those things. After we did that review, I saw it on my feed, like on so many different feeds where people were making that point, getting really upset about even saying, I'm not saying it's because of us, but we all have kind of the same ideas.
Because with us,
But they were like, these people have got to be it's got to be a money laundering scheme. Like it has to be at this point.
Well, you know what? The problem is that Hollywood is so bloated that, if you look at the credits on these shows, you have dozens of producers now on these big budget shows, and those producers make big money. If you have a producer credit, you are getting paid some serious salary. The actors are overpaid for what they're doing.
True.
And the visual effects are, hey, they are good. They're Star Wars level visual effects. These are movie quality visual effects on a TV show or on a streaming show. So, but does it add up to $21 million an episode? I think that they're just pissing away money, and that's the problem when you give a Hollywood producer, director, writers an unlimited budget. Guess what? They can spend it all, and they'll spend it all on stupid stuff, and that's why Godzilla 2014 cost more than 10 times what Godzilla -1 cost. But the emphasis on Godzilla -1 was in the writing. And the emphasis on Godzilla 2014 was the spectacle for the 87 seconds you got to see Godzilla in that movie.
Pink Godzilla.
Yeah.
No, that's Godzilla
that's
X Kong is
That's
Pink Godzilla.
is the pink Godzilla.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. At least in that one, you got to see the monsters more. But, but frankly, I don't think that they were that impressive looking.
Well, the thing is, they had to recreate whole swaths of Japan. And not just recreate them like streets and stuff, like make it look like destroyed somewhat. Like that was effort and work, and here they went to Brazil. They built a Muppet set on a soundstage, and it's like, I don't know, man, where did the money go, bro?
Yeah. And Broken Birds. Yeah, I Salty. I got to thank you again for finally getting me to watch Godzilla -1. That's such a good movie. It was so good.
But the thing is, it's like, okay, so if you think about, like, why do you need to fly to Brazil for a couple of establishing shots?
Yeah, if you're going to fly to Brazil, go to Brazil and do the whole thing. Like, seriously.
Right.
Just do the whole thing.
This entire episode should have been filmed in Brazil if that's where you want to go. Otherwise, do what Lucas did. Go to his own freaking backyard and film in the redwoods.
And it looked great.
Yeah.
Which that's where I grew up. So, to me, it was cool because I got to see, hey, look, there's my hometown just behind all them trees.
Behind all them trees. That's right.
Yeah. But it's not just greedy pockets, Daniel, because they're spending the money. The producers are making money, but they're not. But they're spending more money than the producers are getting. And so I guarantee you, because a lot of people were say, they were trying to save money by filming on location. No, filming on location is way more expensive than a digital matte painting.
Agreed.
So.
Because it's not just, everybody thinks that, CGI, this and that's super expensive. Listen, as someone who's worked in the business, when you go to some place like Brazil, you don't get lighting. You have to take cranes to fake the sun or to put a giant shade up so you can light yourself. Plus, you need a crew of a few hundred that are there, not to mention the fact that you're not just bringing your stars and reeling them in. They have to have their own trailers on location at the place. Just off that shot, there's probably a dozen or more trailers, craft services, easily 200 to 300 people that are all running around to try to make the production happen.
Not to mention the fact that they have to close down a national forest, which costs them a bloody fortune just for the permits.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise there'd be people hiking through that valley. You really think that area would be completely abandoned?
Right. It feels like we have our own Kadish with somebody that's like, I used to work in Hollywood. You should give some people a little background on your bona fides here.
If you can. I don't know.
So I was in development for a while. We produced several pilots. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. That's not a big secret. And so
you work for Marvel?
No, but I have a friend who works at the studio there now.
I'm jealous.
Formerly it was oh my gosh, I can't remember the name. Pinewood, formerly Pinewood. And so it's been, but yeah, we worked for quite a bit. The pandemic shut us down, and then that's when I took all these fun toys to make this, and I realized that my love was just really talking about movies and stuff with folks.
What were you doing as far as when you were developing stuff?
We worked.
What was your specific job?
I wrote 2 screenplays. one for Warner Brothers that they ended up not moving forward with, and then we developed a game show as well as 2 other comedy pilots for Netflix. The pandemic shut both those projects down, and then they just moved on. And unfortunately, the rollover is so fast with the executives at places like Netflix that by the time the pandemic was over, our contact was gone. And so it's just been one of those things.
So now you'd be back to square one, and
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just decided to move on.
Well, too bad. If you were still in the business, I'd try to pitch you my ideas, but anyway.
Right on, yeah.
Probably would have never met him if he was still in the business. The only reason.
Well, that's true.
No, you guys.
And yeah, well, come on, you wouldn't have time for us little peons. All right, so, but yeah, so they're just pissing away money. That's
They are.
for no reason. So I mean, so Darth Meth Head and May are going to go in.
This whole scene with him, this is what really makes me lean toward your theory, though, about him being the big bad. Because if you notice some of the way he's talking to her, not only that, but the way, because you talked about it in our watch along, and then I rewatched it, and then she had it on just now a little bit ago. And the way he's kind of directing the conversation, kind of motivating her,
Right. Oh, you can't quit.
Yeah. Seems like so.
And why do you think you have to kill one without a weapon? Do you think it's a test? It's like the test is he's asking you if you think it's a test,
Well, not just that. I think on some level, if he is the guy who's testing her, I think he wants to try to find out what her motivations are. Well, because here's the thing, Sith aren't actually about following the rules. They're about how badly do you want to get the end result? Are you going to do whatever it takes, regardless of what we tell you? I think he's trying to find out if what she's going to really do and get in there.
Yeah. Now, can you, Danny? Mm-hmm. I know you want to double fist your mustache all night, but can you stop?
I'm giving the fans what they want. You've been no-selling all these comments from people like this one here, and so yeah, I'm just giving the people what they want.
I used to have a mustache just like that, by the way. Matter of fact, while you guys are talking, I'm going to send you over this picture I've had of me back in the day. You don't have to use it for anything. I just want you to know I appreciate the mustache. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, hold up.
Oh, yeah, go back to trivia question
right here.
Time.
We're ready, folks, and we've got a pretty decent crowd. We got over 30 people. Thank you all for joining us. So this is the Criticless trivia question for this episode. And Ariel, you're here.
Does that mean we should show the commercial before
No. We're going to show the commercial after because I want to
give people a minute to try to answer.
Yes,
nobody's going to get this one. We know nobody's going to get this one.
Yeah. So here we go. If you let's so this guy right here is Kiadi Mundi, right? Okay. What was his age at the time of this episode, according to his EU birth date? I will be keeping an eye on the chat to get the answer. The winner of this week's will get one of these. Oh, that reminds me, Ariel, I emailed you. Reply to the email. I still need your address. I have your prize pack ready and tailored to you, along with a nice little note. I've got some pretty cool stuff in here for you.
Look at the answers.
So what do we got here? We got some answers going on. All right, we've got.
I like Darth Maul's answer.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to post any of these yet because, but yeah. So one more time, just in case I see a couple people have just joined us. So, what was Kiadi Mundi's age at the time of this episode? This guy right here that we're looking at, according to his EU birth date. And with that, I would like to maybe before we do the ad, because I met Mr. Know-It-All through Criticless, and this will be totally organic. Why do you use Criticless, Mr. Know-It-All? How did you come about? How'd you stumble across Criticless? What do you like about it?
I'm going to say a bad word. I used to have a Letterboxd. And I used to think that even before I ever knew Criticless existed, I thought it felt very pretentious. And I was like, what the hell is this? And so then one day I saw, oh my gosh, I can't remember the gal's name. I follow her, and she was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm going to Criticless. And I was like, what in the world is that? So I went on, I followed to the website that took me to the app. I downloaded the app, and I made a profile, started looking, and it had that really cool, like, 80s vibe. And then I started reading the reviews, and I was like, these are really like grounded reviews. And I didn't agree with all of them, but a lot of them I did. And I was like, this is my tribe. And so I started really good. I took everything I had posted on LinkedIn, on Letterboxd, and said, screw that place. I'm gonna bring them all over here. And I brought it over there. And then I got the paid account so I could put my YouTube links. And it's just been really fun interacting with that community.
Yeah, no, Salty's also got the paid account. I'm poor, and I don't.
You can't afford the $6.
I can't. It's terrible. But I do love Criticless. I try. One of these days they might gift me one. I don't know.
I was gonna say, Blaine, come up with the feature where we can gift a membership, and one of us will send this man one.
There you go. But no, that's super cool. I love Criticless. I actually was fortunate enough I got to meet Blaine at the Nerdrotic meetup here in Las Vegas, and he's super cool, dude. Another North Carolina boy like myself with a glorious mustache. You're just jealous, Salty. That's all.
I am not jealous at all.
We're getting all kinds of guesses. So I tell you what, guys, I'm going to take my mandatory Union P break while he shows the commercial and tells us a little bit more about Criticless on the other side. Take it away, Mike.
You didn't say I was having to do all that.
Take it away, Mike. Come on.
Right,
you know the format of the show by now, buddy.
Where is the Criticless ad?
Oh, you're killing me.
No, I got it here. Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Hello, Blaine Andrews here, local business owner and critic enthusiast. Are these critics constantly clickety-clanking around on their keyboard? Are their terrible reviews driving you crazy? Is your critic clawing away at the very fabrics of society with their terrible opinions? Think there's no answer? You're so stupid. There is! Critic Mittens. Finally, there's an elegant, comfortable mitten for critics. I didn't hear a thing. Is your critic one-armed or have fat sausage fingers, a skinny bird-like physique, or just no fingers at all? That doesn't matter because one size fits all. Critic Mittens, you'll be smitten. So come on down to criticless.com. We're the home of the original Critic Mittens. And how? Download on Android, Apple, or maybe just visit the interwebs today because it's an app. You download it because it's an app, but it's a website too. Hello.
And there we go. I see. That's why I say I really want Blaine to come out with some Critic Mittens.
My only question is, Blaine, if you need help, call me, man. All right, I'll make you 2 or 3 of those, brother. Let's go, man. I swear, I come from the world of commercials. I got you, dog. I got you. No,
but that's a commercial that I would enjoy when it came on. Like that's, to me, that's at the level of like the old "Where's the Beef" campaign and stuff like that. When you look forward to the commercial from your favorite sponsor.
Absolutely.
Or like the Geico Cavemen was like the last really good, man, the first time I saw it, it's so easy, even a caveman can do it. And then the camera pans back and you see there's a caveman on the crew making the commercial. He's like, oh, nice. And I was just like, oh, dude, that's gold right there.
Absolutely. No, hands down. I like it. I like it as a platform. I do. Criticless. Absolutely.
And Mike Richards says we need a gay chipmunk movie for Pride Month. Don't worry, the gay chipmunk movie is in tomorrow's commercial. Remember, that's on the Thursday commercial. No kidding. It's like there's a different Criticless commercial that features gay chipmunks.
I love Stan Lee says, or you get the owner of the local furniture store.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or the local car dealership.
Oh man, I love those. Those are true, tried and true right there.
Yeah, they say, hey, check out this 2017 Ford Ranger or this ostrich.
Like this car right here, and like the hood falls off.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? Right on, man.
Oh man. So I didn't see any correct guesses yet for the age. What's his name again?
Ki Adi Mundi.
Why can't they just call him like Bob?
Hi.
Oh,
hello.
Did Danny? What happened? You changed.
Danny shaved and got a tan.
Yeah, it's enough of the sausage party. I think you guys need a girl's point of view.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
So speaking of sausage party, how about this guy's head?
Totally.
Yeah, that's the real sausage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So how old do you think he is, or did Danny tell you?
How old do I think he is?
Yeah, according to Star Wars canon.
I think he is -27.
Well, Danny's going to have to give you the prize pack then, because you must have overheard him. But nobody was even close, although Darth Maul did say -20. So
I saw that.
So we're gonna have to.
I think the rules say that
Okay,
family can't win or friends can't win.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, I cheated anyway, so I think he kind of won.
All right. So Darth Maul, you are the official winner with -20. Close enough. Yes, he was born
That's awesome.
27 years after this, according to the EU.
By the way, I just got a text from Mrs. Know-It-All. She goes, "Woohoo!" And I put a question mark. She goes, "The girls showed up." So Mrs. Know-It-All is watching upstairs.
So why in the world are you hanging out with Danny? Are you okay?
Blink
Yeah.
twice.
Blink twice if you need help.
No, I'm okay.
No,
I'm
that's
okay.
awesome.
All right, well, I just worry
Tell
about.
the truth. It's that luscious mustache and beard, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's something about the twirl.
I love you so much. That's commitment.
I
Oh, you're
quit.
the best.
I'm out.
You're
I'm
the
done.
best.
Bye, guys.
That's
See you
okay.
later.
See you later.
Creepless.
Yay. See, even he's got her shilling. Good job. That is awesome.
Hey guys.
So how much did you pay her to say that?
It's all about the mustache.
That's right. He knows what's
Anyway,
up.
so Darth Maul is our official winner. He guessed -20.
Okay, yeah, that was fun, guys. It was close enough. I guess
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
I told you it's all about the mustache.
Yeah. So, Mr. Who'd you say it was? Darth Maul? It was
Darth Maul. Yeah.
So Darth Maul, there's my Twitter handle. DM me on Twitter if you don't have Twitter, or opposed to using it. You can go to my YouTube channel and get my email address and email me your info, and I will send you your prize, which I didn't even get to. Bag and stickers and cool stuff.
Austin, is this your normal crew? These guys are the best. Creep's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's
Between Stanley and Creep, they're both awesome. Oh man. The fact that I think Darth Maul probably actually did the math and was like, hang on. Like I could just see like that classic thing.
Problem is he
from-
was using like new math from current school.
yeah. See, look at this. Planet X wants me to tag you back in. He's like, yeah, nobody wants to see me anymore.
I agree. She is way better looking than you, Danny.
Oh wow. Well,
Mrs.
you
Know-It-All did say she was super happy that the girl showed up.
should- Oh, nice. Right on.
So where's Mrs. Know-It-All?
Oh, she's upstairs. Trust me. We have a very hyperactive puppy who sleeps during the day and then at night is a wild one. So I've heard the puppy like literally up and down the stairs right above my head several times.
So so Darth Maul says no, he used quantum because he's a Trekkie.
Oh, very good. Yes.
It's awesome. I like it.
Yeah, that's something I used to do in my old reviews. Is whenever there was something that couldn't be explained logically, the answer was quantum.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or reverse the polarity.
Yeah.
I assume he's saying 100% of the chat was happy that when the camera came back on, it was her and not me. So
Yes.
It's so funny.
Not only the chat, but I was happier. Mr. Know-It-All was happier. Google
Know-It-All
was
was
happier. The weather got a little bit
Google
better.
is happier for multiple reasons.
yeah.
Yeah. So she checked multiple boxes for us.
That's right.
man.
Oh,
What do you-
well, there you go.
you need to
I'll have
leave, buddy.
I would, but it was. I didn't think she would actually hop on in the first place, so that was fun. That was cool. They're saying you need to
Yes.
replace me now. Is what this going on. Oh my God, Darth Maul.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of that was probably due to my drunken behavior in the past. I'm still trying to make amends for. So
Oh, and Thomas said something earlier. And so Thomas, I wasn't ignoring you, but I want to make sure I mention this. Thomas said that this scene gave him the feeling that the Jedi Council didn't know what was going on. Well, they actually flat out state it in this episode that they're purposely keeping all this a secret from the Council, which you know,
the council
like
would
a
tell
Jedi
the
would.
Senate. Yeah.
You know.
But I'm like, what, why, when did they start keeping secrets from the Jedi Council?
Well, and I love their excuse that the Jedi Council would have to report it to the Senate. Why?
Now, did you guys?
That's some of the kind of shady writing, I'd say, from this episode.
Yeah.
It feels so sometimes I feel like the writing needs contrivances. And by the way, you only need contrivances if you don't understand the materials, like where it comes from. I'm not saying you got to follow everything jot and tittle and everything EU and whatever else, but you got to know the universe to better handle that kind of stuff.
This pause is a perfect example. These guys don't know fuck all about anything, as opposed to you, Mr. Know-It-All, because they have a guy on the screen right here who's not alive yet.
He's a
It's
force
crazy.
fetus.
I hate you so much. He's not alive. No, I hear you.
He is he's a force fetus because his species gestates for 27 years. You didn't know that.
Although Ariel did ask a good question, wasn't the one Jedi keeping secrets for when he went to go create that clone army?
Yes, but that was an outlier. That's Jedi Sifo-Dyas.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow, creep.
That was all part of Palpatine's plot. And so Sifo-Dyas was probably already turned.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know.
If not manipulated, but yeah, absolutely. Turned, I agree. Oh, jeez. I did too. If that's, I feel like that's space racist.
Right. Well, the funny
Yeah,
thing is that like we have all these Jedis who have the rank of master, but none of them are on the council.
Right. Which I'm like, what's everyone all master? Because the only one who's a knight is Yord.
Yeah, Yord is the only one that's a knight. Everyone else is a freaking master or a Padawan.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem to make any sense. And yeah, I don't know how you feel about this, but here's a problem that I've had with Star Wars that goes all the way back to the prequel series. I think it started with the prequel series and has continued, unfortunately, a somewhat downhill trajectory since then. And that is the idea that they've kind of de-spiritualized the Force.
Yes.
And instead of the Jedi being good and the Sith being bad, the Jedi are just stoic and the Sith are emotional. And so it doesn't mean that the Sith are bad. It just means that they believe in using the power of feelings, where the Jedi believe in using the power of intellect as far as their methodology of controlling the Force.
Okay.
And so when you take into account shows like Andor, which everybody raves as being this awesome show, but Andor to me is absolute proof that the Empire did nothing wrong.
Yeah, you said that. You said
Because if you look at Andor, what freedoms were being curtailed at the beginning of Andor? The answer is none.
The Empire was never. I see, but the thing is, I don't ever believe the Empire was so much taking people's freedoms as much as taking their stuff. So,
But
for
the
instance,
thing is, that's
you
what
go
they
to
were
a-
saying. They were
they
saying
go to a
it's
planet
taking.
and they take your resources. They would not allow you.
What
to do
government
something.
doesn't do that? It's called eminent domain.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair argument.
You know, the United States government does it. That doesn't mean they send stormtroopers out and conquer the universe, right? The Empire, up until the point of and keep in mind, the only reason that the Empire clamped down was because a group of terrorists started random attacks against their facilities in order to purposely get them to clamp down so they could recruit more people to their jihad against the Empire.
Wow.
And there's even a conversation in the series that corroborates that.
So
Sure.
I'm having some serious deja vu because you said all of this during our Andor review. Let's get back
Because
to
but
this.
that's the problem. So by de-spiritualizing things, that opens up the floodgates for stuff like the way we're seeing the Jedi behaving here. The Jedi are behaving like any political group, but they shouldn't be. They should be behaving like space monks.
Yeah,
They should
I
not be.
agree.
You know,
totally. And Broken Birds, you didn't have to text us. I'm very public about my whole battle with addiction and alcoholism. To answer your question that you texted me, you could have put it in the chat. It's right there. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it.
Your blur effect.
Yeah,
we can see the blur.
The blur. 107 days to answer your question, hon. So
Awesome.
thank you for checking on me.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm not one of those. It's anonymous for a reason. I'm not. I mean, Jesus, you guys saw me before when I was drinking, and if I'm still showing my face now, it's like clearly, I don't mind.
Is that the beard of a raging alcoholic anymore? No, that is a healthy, lush, 100 and some odd day beard. For sure.
Actually, what's funny is I was shaving back when I was drinking because I was really vain and I was selfish and self-centered and trying to just get all the women I could. And this is actually, I've been growing. I shaved the day before I went to rehab. So this is 108 days of growth. So I'm going to so I've kind of turned it into a symbol for my sobriety. I'm going to see.
See, now you can't bust his chops anymore about man, twirl that bad boy, sir. Twirl it with pride.
Thank you.
I emailed you a picture of mine, by the way.
Oh, sweet. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
I clicked the wrong thing. It was the thumbnail for a second that I sent you earlier.
That's awesome.
Oh, that mustache is on point, sir.
Right?
Nice.
And I used to do the same thing, by the way. I used to do the exact same
You have to shape it. That's what I keep trying to tell them. You have to do that,
All right, so here we get, and this is a scene I wanted to talk about with you guys a little bit. So this is where Saul convinces Osha to come on the mission with them.
Sure.
And one of the I watched a negative review of the show today, where the person was going off about the writing for this episode, saying that basically she goes to X-23 and says, I'm not going because I don't care. And then Saul shows up and says, please come with us. And she's like, okay. And which is a gross oversimplification of what's going on. And they're acting like this is like this episode boiled down, right? However, here's my response to that. Luke Skywalker says, I can't leave Tatooine. I got too much going on here. Oh, your aunt and uncle are dead. Okay, I'll come along.
Sorry, I'm hearing the echo all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right on.
that's because she's watching it on her phone to hear.
I was thinking, and it was like, I was thinking through what you just said, and
Yeah.
I was hearing your voice again. So
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
funny.
I was like, am I internal monologue out loud?
Yeah, that's
No, right on. I agree.
You
with
are
I
going
agree.
crazy, just so you know, yes.
For real. No, I've always thought that scene was actually huge because I feel like Mark Hamill gives such a great nuanced performance in that.
Sure.
I don't think he's trying. I don't believe he went, oh my God, my aunt and uncle are dead. I want revenge. I believe he goes, my aunt and uncle are dead. Maybe Obi-Wan can give that purpose and make me see why this happened.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the original. I'm just saying that if you're going to rail on this because the storyline of this episode is she doesn't want to go, then she's convinced to go because of mitigating factors.
Right.
In this case, the fact that Saul tells her that when her sister found out she was alive, he saw a change in her. And that was what really convinces her to go.
Yeah. Speaking of change in this scene, remember that interesting point I brought up when we watched episode 3? That like I couldn't shake the whole the children making life decisions and stuff. So while she was watching it, something I totally missed. The mother later gives this little speech. The actual mother, I forget her name. The mother, the clan mother.
Okay, the head of the witches. Yeah.
The head of the witches.
Anastasia.
Thank you, Mother Anastasia. She gives this little speech after OSHA passes the test or whatever, and they're talking, and that scene where OSHA says something like, so I'll never see you again, Mom. She talks to her about how children make these kind of decisions, grow up later to regret them, as the character did. And I was like, how did I miss that the first time? Because that is even more echoed my point of view on that. So anyway, I just
No, I agree.
throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had been on the Patreon for that conversation because I feel like I have thoughts about what I felt the message of that moment was. And I said it to Mrs. Know-It-All. I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Kids can make their own choice. Understood. I see what we're talking about. Go on.
Yeah,
And it's funny. She looked at me and she goes, "I didn't see it that way. Now I do." And I was like, "Yeah, I can see all they've used this to pepper in a lot of messages on
the way I see it though is almost antithetical to what these people making the show believe. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's a symptom when writers they're trying. It's kind of like what I compared it to Captain Jellicoe from Chain of Command. Captain Jellicoe was meant to be the villain, but to a lot of Trekkies, he's the hero. He's the best captain they've ever seen.
That's me.
Right. And so, yeah.
Just like Jellicoe.
By the way, same thing with Captain A-Hole in Picard season 3, when, until he went all bananas about the Borg thing.
Oh, Shaw?
Yeah, Shaw was 100% right to treat Picard and Riker with utter contempt because he saw right through them.
I love that guy. He was my. You remember us watching? That was my favorite character of that.
I wish I'd known you guys back then.
Yeah, I hated that show, but the I despise that show.
I love it. It's my. I've rewatched it a couple times. Yeah.
I'm with you. Same. So have I.
Yeah.
All right, so but here's the challenge for you, Mr. Know-It-All. You ready?
Sure.
All right, you see the tracker on the screen.
Yes, I see.
Tell me he doesn't look exactly like Danny.
So we're doing the watch
Look
along
at
yesterday.
that face. Look at that face. Tell me that doesn't look exactly like. All you need is glasses on it, and you have a clone of Danny there.
No, this is for your lady friend. Okay. Look at that face. Look at that face.
There you go. No, yeah, you were like when we were watching yesterday. You were like, "Yo, you didn't tell me you were going to be in this, episode."
That's awesome. I feel like he looks like a capybara. Am I the only one that thinks that?
If Danny and a capybara had a love child, this is what it would look like.
Yeah, Danny Beaver. Shut up, Danny.
Danny Beaver. There's your new name instead of Dork Knight. Danny Beaver.
Oh
right
God,
there.
that's almost as bad as. But what is his name now? Dutch Butters. Oh my God, it's almost as bad as that. Go back to being Vader. I'm not calling him that. I'm only calling him Vader.
Oh no, we got to call him that now that we've defined what his name means. That's okay. So there's a guy named Matt Vader, and he'll pop in every now and then. He says hi. He's a part of a larger streaming channel, and so he's so fed up with Star Wars that he refuses to call himself Matt Vader anymore. So he changed his name to Dutch Butter.
I hate you so much, Scott.
Right? Now, we were trying to figure out what the heck does that even mean, right?
Okay.
And so then we started thinking, well, you know what a Dutch oven is, right?
Oh, jeez.
So Dutch butter is just like a Dutch oven with explosive diarrhea.
I hate you so much.
And this part of the show is brought to you by the Salty Nerd Podcast.
Yes.
Let's go.
So everybody should, the next time Salty Nerd Podcast is on, you go over there and make sure that Vader understands what his new name means. Because
Dork Otter. Sorry,
Dork Otter, that's good, yeah.
I apologize. Stanley's got me shouting out loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You ever, you could like, make a T-shirt of you breaking a clam on your stomach.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I want that so bad now.
Oh, a correction for Mr. Know-It-All.
Oh, really?
proof that he doesn't actually know it all.
Right on, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Maybe-
but
well,
Stan's got some zingers too.
Change his name to Mr. Knows Enough.
That's right.
So then, with all the Jedi Masters in the world on this mission, they send the Padawan over to talk to the guy.
Can you imagine? Psst, Jackie, go talk.
Yeah. All the Masters are going to stand here and watch while you negotiate with the locals. And, oh, yeah, he's still on the show. Oh, look, another white guy.
Where did that come from?
that dude was being he's like, give me your gun, give me your blaster. You don't
Look
know
at that.
what-
There's a
yeah.
white guy behind her.
Oh, is that Shia LaBeouf? I'm just kidding.
So, man, this show is just really trying to be offensive. This is like the most toxic episode. And a ginger, and now this guy.
For real.
Well, they with all these white guys, that's why it's the shortest episode, I guess. That could
Yeah,
be-
that must be.
yeah.
I'm trying to see, is the balding guy back there, is he white too?
I think so.
Yeah,
Wow.
behind OSHA, yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
It's 2. I think it's more than enough. We can stop right there. I'm just kidding.
So then Danny takes a sniff of the fabric and they go into the woods. Oh, and this is, I mean, my gosh, did somebody just really want to redo Lord of the Rings here?
That's awesome.
I mean, you could literally play the music.
Someone
And
hasn't done that already. They need
and
to.
look at even the size of them. You've got the hobbits in the back. You've got the dwarf in the front. You know.
Couple elves mixed in there. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah. You know, instead of Gandalf, Saul is just the resident wizard.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he did
then,
survive a certain trial of his own with the Squid Games. So there's
So
that.
real quick, so this conversation that you're going through,
Yeah, good.
this conversation for me was a little bit awkward, only because at any given time, their relationship is so hard to define. And I don't mean
Right.
relationship like that, but I just mean like they grew up together, but then he's trying to be all hardline lawman against her earlier, and now that she's been freed, she's like, I gotta take your gun, and then they're ha-haing, and it's like I don't understand at all this dynamic whatsoever.
I think it's the problem is bad writing.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely
I
agree.
mean, because I think that unfortunately they didn't. Here's the kind of the vibe I get is that like when they originally were putting this together, they were thinking that these two were like a thing when they were in the academy together.
Okay.
Jedi aren't supposed to do that.
But then they kind of shied away from that because, you know, political reasons.
Sure.
And so they kind of changed that to maybe she has some tension in that respect with X-23. And so X-23 was going to be the hardliner with her, but then they changed those lines to him.
Well, see, here's how it's framed by some of our fandom menace friends. Well, the actress who's a lesbian in real life read that and was like, "I'm not doing it," so they changed it. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, but
No, because see, the showrunner is the lesbian, so that's I don't know about this particular actress, and I don't care.
I don't think she's lesbian. I think she's come out as being very pro-feminist in her work.
I was just
Well, of course they are.
I,
What are
I
they
was
gonna
just
say?
doing my
I'm
best
not very
Gary
feminine.
impersonation is all I was trying to do there. Whether it's
No,
right or
right on.
not.
Yeah, I would just love some actor to say, well, I'm not really pro-feminism, and then watch their career just take off.
That's awesome.
So, you going to answer Ariel's question, Danny?
You want to answer that question? No, it's okay. That's a joke. Never mind. We're good. No.
Wow.
Moving on.
Wow, that's just like, yeah, you didn't need to go there. So then they head into the not Brazilian forest. And we see that the trees now have testicles.
Yeah, we were confused
Big
at first.
black testicles.
So this This scene, Mrs. Know-It-All and I actually talked about briefly, which is why did it? I got the impression, like when that one thing woke up, that they were all going to suddenly be being chased by these.
Right. That's what I thought was going to happen too. That would have been a typical Star Wars moment.
You know,
And then nothing.
yeah. To what Stan's saying here, all the damn money they spent on this show, I don't want to see something that is clearly a soundstage, and that's what this. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is the forest that throws apples at them from Wizard of Oz, isn't it? That's what this looks like to me.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I just love the fact that these bugs on the trees do look like testicles just hanging on the trees. I don't know. There's just something symbolic about that, and so.
But when it moved, I immediately said to myself, I said, "Oh, look, they're like a." And my wife finished like a giant roly-poly. So I half expected them all to wake up and just start rolling. At everyone.
Me too.
Well, these are that thing that Soul's about to kill. These are their cocoons, right? That's one that came out of that. That's kind of what I was getting from this.
Right. It looks like if you look at the way it's attached,
like
to
they were
the
probably
tree there,
caterpillar-like more than
Right.
a roly-poly, and that this is their cocoon, and they're going to come out the big.
Yeah, but when it
thing.
comes out, it looks like a roly-poly. That's why we'll play a second of it. Hopefully,
You're going to get us claimed again.
Well, of course.
I had to cut out. Oh my God! To fix that Godzilla video, literally had to cut out
There it
over
is.
30 minutes. Over 30 minutes. Oh yeah, I see it there.
Yeah. So, yeah, right there, it looks a lot like one of those roly-polies, but then all of a sudden it sprouts wings, and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, yeah, after Saul kills the first one, I was expecting all the others to just launch at him.
Why are all the Jedi so quick to kill things?
Well, you see, that goes back to the prequels as well, and that's a problem that I had, because in the prequels, it's like, oh well, go kill this guy. Well, go kill this guy. Oh, is this guy dead yet? And it's like they had no regard for life.
Or in Clone Wars, when Obi-Wan, though, to protect, like, everyone else defend, he almost seemed mean fighting
Yeah.
that giant thing with the, like, sticking hands, arms thing in the arena. And I'm like, bro, Jedi are evil. Right on, Thomas.
Thomas is a big pro Palpatine guy. Just
Because they're evil. Kill it. Do your part. I see. Okay. I get it.
And by the way, notice the X-23 even celebrates the fact that Saul killed that thing.
Way to go, bro.
Did you? I mean, because she's like, oh, it's always an honor to be there when a creature becomes one with the Force. And it's like, oh, so just wanton murder is good.
Right now,
I mean-
we all become one with the Force.
So, yeah, so then the rest of the roly-polies for some reason do not wake up. Yeah, this is right here was where she says that.
You guys do realize that we are now going. We could have watched this episode in real time 3 times now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out.
Yeah. It's crazy how short this episode was. Yeah.
I literally said to Mrs. Know-It-All just before I came on, I was like, I'm going to be on the show in about 15 minutes. You want to watch it one more time?
So here's where Darth Methhead and has the conversation about, this is this a test? And what do you really want to do? And that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he can tell she's. I think there's something to your theory because, him leaving here to like go get her water or whatever he was gonna do is like he knew like.
And then the next, and then we don't see him again until he accidentally falls into her trap.
Yeah.
And
I firmly believe that while he was getting water is when he killed Kelnaka.
Yeah. So see, you guys are prone to something. I think you might be right. Yeah.
Dirty. And I don't just mean physically.
Hey.
where he just went to kill Naga's place and says, "Hey man, you got some blow?"
What's up, Lance?
Naka's
Thanks for coming.
So here he gets trapped, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, but you see, my sister's alive, so I'm gonna be good now."
Well, the other thing is they did a good job showing us how evil or mean she was as a child. I found the turn hard to swallow. But
Right.
We said the same thing. What was her motivation? This seemed out of nowhere. We were
Yeah.
saying that as we were watching it last night.
It would be one thing if she was showing doubt the whole time.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
The only thing even remotely close to doubt was when she let that bartender and his kid live. Really?
Well, there was the bartender and kid. She did give a hesitation when Saul told her that OSHA was alive.
Yes.
But then this episode, she was just playing along, saying we got to find the Wookiee, and then until she could set her trap and then say, "Oh, I'm going to be good now," and I was like, "What?" You know, it might have been better if we had some more time with the two of them, where she might be talking about reminiscing about her sister and talking about how maybe she judged her too harshly and maybe and she wished things would have gone differently.
They had one small, not even a whole scene where she, she had like one line about her sister talking to him.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'll put it in the chat and highlight it, but it's in the description of my channel, Creep. But yeah, we'll blast his YouTube out there for you guys who want to check. He's got really, really good content with really great production value.
Thank you. YouTube.com/@arealknowitall.
And so they get to not Chewbacca's house, and they're like, "Okay, you stay behind us while all us Jedi are going to line up and surround the place." Because we don't think he could handle it. And that's when we see May going into the house and finding the rotting corpse.
Bro, not even rotting. No, smoking.
Yes,
It still had
corpse.
smoke. Yeah,
Still warm.
Yeah.
I wonder what roasted Wookiee tastes like. That's
That's so sad.
All right, for those of you watching
Poor
this on
Kalnaka.
for those of you watching on my channel, I pinned the link to Mr. Know-It-All's
but
YouTube.
in fairness, and Fed, welcome with a $20 super
Big
chat.
ol' super chat.
Wow.
And Fed says, "Wow, you're really." You click on this in there. You're really reviewing this shite. Gets the bottle of cheap scotch to dull the pain for seeing this. I appreciate it, Fed. It's honestly, and I know you're going to disagree with me on this, Fed, but it's honestly not as bad as even we're making it out to be. Is it great? No. Is it horrifically bad? No. In fact, I wouldn't even, I would not put it at the bottom tier of Star Wars shows. Like, I wouldn't put it down there with Book of Boba Fett or anything.
Yeah, no.
It's not horrific. Is there hintings of, the progressive politics? Yes. But it's really only a smattering. It's not like it's everywhere. And it's not like The Boys season 4.
I feel like they had to actually tell a story this episode.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't get anywhere.
Ariel, who dare? Who timed you out? I'll take their wrench away. I will smite them. I am so sorry. I did not do that. It took all your messages away too.
And the scotch still stays. Hey, whatever you need to do to get through the day, I totally understand. Because I do know a lot of people have some hard feelings about what happened to Star Wars in the last few years.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, it's just not that bad. I would say this, Stan, was it worth $180 million budget? No. But,
and especially when you look at Game of Thrones, is only just a little bit above that. I'm sorry,
Right.
House of the Dragon. And the two shows are almost the same price, but where did the money go?
Right. Well, even shows like The Boys has more stuff going on than this.
Agreed.
But what I was going to say is, I just realized something looking at this shot. I don't think that what's his name again? Kalnaka. I don't think he's dead. I think he's just snoozing. Look, he's got a smile on his face.
He's dead, bro.
And yes, he's got a gaping chest wound, but when has a lightsaber to the chest ever killed anybody?
No, see, but it's a slash, not a...
But it's not that deep. Wookiees have a lot of fat on them.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
It's just a flesh wound. Yeah.
All I know is this: when I'm sleeping in my chair upstairs, I look a lot like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right? I bet I probably do as well.
So yeah, there's the nice lineup there. with all the Jedi. I mean, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Jedi there to bring in someone, to bring in one person.
Yeah.
So this should be overkill.
A little bit.
And then all of a sudden, Darth Butterfly floats in.
Now that, mind you, it is in the Clone Wars cartoon, which, by the way, was back in the day canon, because if you remember that cartoon, butted up right to the beginning of Revenge of the Sith.
Now, are you talking about the one that I like, made by the Samurai Jack dude? Or are
Yes,
you talking about?
yes,
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Those were canonical.
Yes, they were.
Literally, when Yoda pulled it at the end, they go to that moment in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
No. That's. I used to love. I mean, I still love it, but I used to love that. I used to love that it was canon, and now it's like what did I think? Remember when this happened?
You thought he was going to kill her.
I did, and because
Yeah,
he didn't.
That would have been a cliffhanger. If he just lopped her head off right here, and that was the end of the episode.
No, he should have Han Solo'd her.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to
No,
happen.
because again, lightsaber to the chest, easy to recover from.
Now, this could be why she might be
she
right.
didn't
with
have
her
a bottomless
theory.
pit to fall in.
Her theory could, because if it was whatever you're calling that guy, Darth Crackhead, he might have killed her. But if it's the mother wouldn't kill her. The mother would just do what this person does.
Well, I'm assuming we'll find out in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because next week's gonna be a flashback. You mark my
Yeah,
words.
you're probably right.
But yeah, if he had just lopped her head off and then did the force push on the Jedi, and let's say that we see, and this I think would have been better. He lops her head off, does the force push on the Jedi, and then when the dust clears, you see Saul get up with his saber and he's gone.
Wow.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that would have. Yeah.
Because all of a sudden the paradigm is shifted. Now May is the only main character left, and so it's going to be about the Jedi protecting her and finding out what's going
So
on.
then Mandela Stanberg only has one job to do at that point.
Yeah, and not for nothing, and not to be a dick, but it actually I like that idea because this chick, she is kind of this character, not the actress, but this sister of the two is kind of the more disposable one. She's not very good with the Force. She couldn't even, you know what I mean? She washed out of the Jedi Academy or whatever.
Right.
She's,
But the other one has an idea at least of what's going on.
she's regretting the life-altering decision that her parents allowed her to make when she was 8 years old. Just throwing that out there. Sorry. Anyway.
So then we do get a really awesome scene. 10 seconds of an awesome scene
Agreed.
of the Jedi charging in.
I liked how they everybody lights up and
So
and then that.
and then credits.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Oh, I was too,
was
man. And she's
so
like, I want to know what happens. And I'm like, yeah, well,
You and me both.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there we go. That is
There
day.
you go. Now you know.
And here's what's going to happen. So I don't know what the next episode is going to be, but I think the follow-up to this episode is going to be called Night.
You know what? The way they've been, yes,
You're probably right.
I'll take that. I'll take that action.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it will absolutely be that. I'm not going to bet against you, brother.
So yeah, she can push Minnie. She has the power of Minnie.
Ooh, that's it. You're right. It is going to be a bottle episode. It's going to be called Night, and it's going to be the night it happened. We're going to see the same moments and stuff,
Right,
from
except-
the Jedi's perspective. Of
Yeah, because we're going to find out what Master Saul was trying to talk about, how they all needed to face the past.
Oh, and I feel like he's gonna die, like before the
me
end
too.
of this.
I don't. Yeah, but I hope
He's
they.
not making it out. No way.
Yeah.
I want Saul to live because I really like his character. He is the best thing about this show,
He really is.
and
I agree, but they what is it that Kylo Ren said in that terrible movie that they tried to? It was a Star Wars movie.
Kill the past.
Yeah, they just want to kill
Yes.
everything good. They just want to kill everything.
Well, and the thing is, it's funny. I only recently started on TikTok, and that's not. I don't care less. I'm not trying to promote that. But there was a guy who came onto my review from this, and because I put some pieces up, and he said, "Hey, I'm so glad that you got. I'm Korean. I'm glad you guys are really paying attention because apparently in Korea, he's huge."
Oh yeah,
An actor, like he's their Tom Cruise. He's a massive actor, and they're so proud of him.
and he learned English for this role.
Right?
That's
You know,
crazy to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing great. He really is doing good.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I don't want him to kill him because I want to see him star in another show.
Absolutely.
I want to see more with Jedi Saul. I like his character, and I like his portrayal of the character.
You know, I like the actor. I think he needs to get the stank of Star Wars off of him and do some more Hollywood stuff. Is all. You know. I'll go with
No, I don't want him to do more Hollywood stuff other than Star Wars because But first of all, the next thing he needs to do is Squid Game 2.
that. Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
he absolutely needs to be in Squid Game 2. But after that, he can do another Star Wars show.
Okay.
But or show up in the MCU. I don't care, one of the two.
Yeah, right on.
Well,
Let's
here's
go.
a good question, little perspective, female perspective. Bringing the sisters together. What if his death brings the sisters together? You know.
I still don't want him to die.
Yeah.
Kill X-23. Have that bring everybody together. Kill
'Cause you know what,
Cord.
they got to make room for her to come back, for Osha to rejoin the. No, I'm kidding. I don't think she can, but still.
Kill the not ex-boyfriend. You know.
True story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm okay with that. Heck, kill annoying green chick. I'm okay with that. But but don't kill Saul.
The sabers do look like toys, and I guarantee you the sabers might actually be.
Oh, hold up. Yeah. Yeah. They are actually. They use the same ones that I
They
have.
use practical sabers.
They do now. for
That's
some
part of the
reason.
reason that's part of the reason they keep filming the saber scenes in the dark. Because they look a lot better when you shoot, and that's a huge savings on your visual effects budget.
Yeah, but still, it's not
if you're
hard.
spending $21 million an episode, and you need to skimp on the lightsabers, there's a problem here.
Agreed.
Yeah, I like the way they did it back with like that Revenge of the Sith. The end of that, they're basically using the fancy hilts, but with like skinny wooden poles, and they do the.
Those
visual
aren't wood;
effects
they're
on
carbon fiber.
Or
actually.
carbon
I
fiber,
actually have
yeah.
a couple of those carbon fiber blades in my attic.
Yeah.
They
Because
need to flicker and flash.
yeah.
That's awesome.
No, but they do. That's part of the problem is that when you rotoscope, the blades look like they're made of energy. When you do it this way, they look too solid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I will say this: I've always thought that Yord's lightsaber, and I'm not. Trust me, this is not a guy thing. It looks really thick. Like seriously, this is a lightsaber water bottle, and it looks like they're using something this large when they're fighting.
Well,
And somebody else pointed that out, and I can't remember who it was, or I'd give them credit, but they said it has to do with the fact they have to be bigger like that to hold the batteries that it needs to light that whole, because it is a practical light up, just like a
I don't buy that because I have one of those. I have a saber from oh gosh, I can't remember what they're called now, but it lights up just as bright as that, and it just runs off of like 3 C cells, which will fit in a standard lightsaber hilt.
It would, but you've got to remember.
salty. He's running off car batteries. What I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, there's no reason that I don't know. And the other thing, I want to see some saber ingenuity as far as a design we haven't seen, because so far everybody on in the Disney Plus Star Wars that's had a lightsaber has had a standard lightsaber.
Well, that's not true. That terrible show that I stopped watching, thanks to what was it? The Inquisitor. What that?
Yes.
What show?
Inquisitor? High Inquisitor? Which one that just happened? Obi-Wan?
That terrible piece of shit. Yeah.
First of all, that was
the Inquisitors.
I actually I'm one of the few people that liked Obi-Wan.
I liked many parts of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, no, don't get. I don't think it's a flawless show either. But
Have
I
you
will
seen
tell
the
you
movie cut?
that
Have you seen the
fight
cut?
with Obi-Wan and Vader.
Have you seen your
See,
cut?
I haven't seen anything. I stopped watching it.
There's a cut of there's a guy online, and I have a link. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. He did a full-blown theatrical style cut.
I was thinking about doing that myself.
It was amazing. My wife and I, we watched it, and she was like, "This is what they should have done. It should have just been a movie. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was excellent."
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I couldn't. Wasn't that with you? I quit watching it after their first fight because I got so pissed. And then you were trying to tell me they have another fight that was worth watching, and I still haven't brought.
Yeah, the
myself to do
final
it.
fight between Vader and Obi-Wan is actually really intense.
good.
You finally, for the first time, and in my opinion, I still think as far as canonical Star Wars live action, it's the only time you've really seen a Jedi Master cut loose in battle.
Agreed.
And it was freaking awesome.
Hey, I know we often agree, Professor Brainy Specs, but this time,
Holy
we don't.
crap, me and Professor Brady Specs agree on something.
Yeah, hell's frozen over.
You
Yeah.
Look outside. Is it the apocalypse?
Right?
I'm really concerned.
That's awesome.
Well, I guess do you want to do?
Well, we don't do. Unlike, I know you do your little index. You gave this a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, we don't do that.
It
Yeah.
has an episode.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what we do is we're going to score it as a series when it's over.
Oh, copy. Okay. that's
Because
smart.
if they completely blow the landing, then it's going to seriously impact the score.
Yeah. And this is
However, if
essentially
the ending is freaking awesome, it can elevate the score.
Yeah.
So.
And I came to that conclusion today. I'm going to have to watch the whole thing
Yeah.
once there's none of these episode cuts that are jarring, so I can actually just see the full story, and then I'll have a better idea of what my thoughts are.
And notice, Danny, Fed agrees as well. The last battle between Kenobi and Vader, that is worth the series.
Yeah, but he says it's the only good thing. So you know what? I'll go.
You
I'll get
don't
on
understand
YouTube
how
and find
good
it.
it is.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check
In
out.
fact,
the fight.
if nothing else, just go to Disney Plus, go to Obi-Wan and watch the last episode. You won't know all the context of how the battle gets set up, but you'll know enough. And watch that last episode.
I'll find this fight you speak of on YouTube. I'm sure somebody.
No, dude, just watch the freaking episode. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah. No,
And absolutely, Stanley, better than the end of Rogue One. I would agree. In fact, the problem with
love
Rogue
Rogue
One
One.
is it comes
I love
out of
Rogue
freaking
One.
left field.
I love Rogue One. My wife
Me
and I-
too. I
Oh
love.
man,
Rogue
we're gonna
One.
fight now because Rogue One was such a hot piece of garbage. Look,
What?
it's okay. It's not a bad movie. And you've heard me say this, Danny. It's
Yes.
the entire movie just extrapolates on a sentence from the opening crawl of the first movie. We know that there's a battle and the rebels get the plans for the Death Star. Okay, I don't need a whole movie of that. And then they introduce all these characters and kill them all.
To me, that's the most gangsta epic move ever. They were like, here's all these people, and then guess what? All of their fighting, they got the things out, but they're all not gonna make it. And I'm like, that to me, by the way, is the only way that Ki-Adi-Mundi is telling the truth in the future. Nobody makes it off this planet. Nobody makes it. They all have to
Yeah.
die.
I understand.
Yeah.
All right,
And
so before we wrap it up, so we're all agreed that this episode was okay, but the ending was kind of sudden.
Yeah.
And
Too short overall.
yeah. And it was, way too short. So here's where I'm going to piss off Thomas Potts. Triple timeline.
Okay.
It explains all the messed up crap with Star Trek continuity.
Sure.
Okay, so, and you may have heard variants of this before, but I started it, and I started it years and years and years ago, so I'm sticking to that.
And he's gotten props and guested on other shows to speak on this
talking
theory
about
of
this.
his.
So-
Awesome. Go ahead.
So Star Trek First Contact, right? Enterprise goes back in time to First Contact Day, fights the Borg.
Right.
Sphere is destroyed, but remnants of the sphere left on the North Pole, which we see in Enterprise. This creates an alternate timeline because in the original Prime timeline, that Borg sphere was not there.
Agreed.
Okay. So in the original timeline, we have Kirk, Spock, just like we see in Star Trek: The Original Series, and we can even follow that up with TNG. And so as far as that's all prime timeline up until Star Trek Nemesis or Star Trek First Contact.
Okay.
However, because of the Borg sphere, Enterprise is in the alternate timeline. And in this alternate timeline, the Federation finds out about the Borg in the 22nd century. We know this because it's stated that they had detailed pictures, they scanned them all, they had all these records of the Borg. We also know that they put together that Zephyr Cochrane was talking about the Borg during First Contact, and Archer figured out that these are probably the same things.
Right.
Okay? So the Federation knows about the Borg. They're prepping for the Borg, which is why the Romulan War that was supposed to happen during 100 years prior with primitive technology never happened because the Federation was too busy worrying about upgrading weapons and defenses against the Borg. The rest of the Alpha Quadrant started getting word of this. They started working on upping their weapons and stuff, and we end up with Discovery in this alternate timeline. And of course, Strange New Worlds following Discovery.
And probably somewhere in here, this is where the mandate for Section 31 comes in.
Right. Because Section 31 would obviously have a lot more reason to exist on a larger level in this timeline because they have an imminent threat against all life with the Borg. Now,
Oh my God, I love you.
then fast forward to Spock in the 24th century is trying to save Romulus from a supernova and fails, gets sucked into a black hole. Now, we know that what he's, and he doesn't just go back in time, he jumps into the Discovery timeline, which is why the J.J. Abrams movies look so much like Discovery compared to the original series as far as windows on the ships and stuff like that. All the architectural similarities between the Kelvin timeline films and Discovery / Strange New Worlds. There's your third timeline in the triple timeline.
Bro, you, sir, are a magician. I have explained to my wife on numerous occasions, and you just proved it. Star Trek fans, we know how to explain everything, man. That's brilliant.
But
That is bravo.
Now what they need to do,
so smart.
what I think they need to do is, if they want to appease the fans once and for all, is Kurtzman, if you're listening, buddy, free advice.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. Create a series. It could even just be a mini series. We'll just call it Star Trek Temporal Wars, and we'll focus on the temporal Cold War, and we'll jump between these different timelines and establish it all as canonical.
That is so good. Give me that show.
Right. No, he's always coming up with better
yesterday.
ideas than the writers.
Bro.
And, I used to be, but back when I drank, I was a do unto others before they do unto you guy. And I'd really like to say that I've changed. And with